Alright guys, welcome back. So I guess I'll just begin this the same way I did last time. If you caught the last series of videos, I was fixing up the Mongoose EFX. Bike turned out really good, ran really well, and I'm super happy with the way that it did turn out. Worked real hard to get that bike to work correctly and everything like that. But now it is on to a new project. So that project is what's actually right here behind me. So this is a girl's Huffy. I believe it's a trail runner or something like that. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure on the name. Oh, yeah, there it is. Actually, trail runner. And funny thing is this is actually the updated version. So this is my wife's trail runner that she doesn't ride. And yeah, as you can see, it's literally pretty much the same bike in every way. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so what are we doing with this one? So I kind of went over it in the last video with the Mongoose that these bikes actually need pretty much the same thing, which is cables, a new chain, and new tubes. So we have all the parts to do that, which is great. So we're definitely gonna make sure we take care of those over the next couple videos. So I believe I can break this video down into 3 series as well. First thing that we are gonna do actually is get it clean. So just like the Mongoose as well in the last series, we're just going to take the wheels off, we're gonna cut the chain off, and yeah, just kind of douse it down in degreaser, wipe it down, get the cobwebs and stuff out of it, things like that, and then we'll assess from there. And yeah, so let's get started doing that. Let's get a little time lapse of me stripping it down kinda to get it clean, and we'll check back in with you. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that time lapse of me cleaning up this here Huffy. And guys, holy crap, this bike was really just a whole lot of dirty. Like, look at that, look how the purple just shines now. I mean, yeah, it's got, you know, the decals don't look the best here, and it's got some rust. It looks like the tire or something has really done rubbed that up, and I can always touch up some of these rust spots since they're really not that bad. I have some white paint, so that's no big deal to kind of remove the rust and stop it from happening anymore. Yeah, I mean, these V-brake levers move pretty freely. This is resistance from the cable, but I mean, they move so well. The pads look pretty good. They're not a whole lot of life missing out of them. The stem on this is this quill type stem, so I am gonna remove this. It's considered a threaded steer. So what you have to do is remove this nut, which releases the whole fork, and then we'll be able to grease the bearings and stuff like that. I also believe that these handlebars are turned at a weird angle. I actually think they're supposed to be up, I think, considering my wife's bike actually is up. So we're gonna make sure we get that fixed too. But yeah, these look pretty new and move real free. These pads are in really good condition. This is my only real big issue with the front, is that this cable with this housing on it, this arch, is just kind of demolished. So I believe the parts bike actually has one of them on there. So if you're not familiar with this series, I actually bought 3 bikes. So those 3 bikes were the Mongoose that were in my last video. So if you haven't checked them out, please do. This Huffy, and I also bought a Granite Peak, which is like the bottom of the barrel Walmart bike. So when I bought all these bikes, I bought them for 30 bucks. Realized that these 2 bikes, this one and the Mongoose, were the only salvageable ones. And the Granite Peak was pretty much trash. The fork was completely rusted all the way through. It was missing some parts and stuff like that, so I deemed it the parts bike. So the parts bike has actually helped out a lot. So on the Mongoose, I needed the pads on it because I knew these pads were good when I bought it. So with that being said, I don't really have to do a whole lot to this bike, guys. I am going to drop the fork, get that nice and clean. You know, all these cables and stuff are going to get replaced regardless of the condition that they are in. So this was missing a brake at one time, which I've already pulled off of the parts bike. And these shifters are in really good condition, and I don't feel like I'm going to have too big of an issue fixing up this bike. I think the stem is just going to have to be the color that it is. I'm going to probably try and maybe do something to get a little bit of the color back, but I don't see any need in painting it, where the other one on the Mongoose, if you caught those videos, it was just rusted. So this isn't too bad. Like I said, I'm going to undo the pinch bolt and turn those. But yeah, other than that, man, it's really just shined. It really cleaned up well. I did notice during the cleaning process that these cranks do have a little bit of side of lateral movement. Well, I'm not sure if you can tell, but so I'm going to investigate that and see what I need to do to fix it. Shouldn't be too hard of a fix. I should be able to tighten up the bolts at the crank arms, and then we should be good. So I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks for joining me in cleaning this here Huffy project. The next video is going to entail getting all of these cables off, getting the handlebars and the stem off and cleaned, and then we will also go ahead and clean the derailleur when we're doing that process too. The derailleur isn't all that bad. It still moves pretty free. The spring on the inside's kind of rusty, so we'll make sure that we do throw some grease in that after it's cleaned. I'm probably gonna let it actually sit in some degreaser after this video and let it soak. That way it does come a little cleaner. But yeah, it actually isn't in too bad a condition. This is actually a really, really good derailleur. Well, good condition derailleur anyway. The jockey wheels look good. They're not cracked, and they spin. After they're cleaned, they'll probably spin a lot better. So yeah. Next video will be pulling cables, pulling the handlebars, pulling the brake and shifter lever cables and everything off, and dropping the fork so we can go ahead and get that re-greased. Definitely is going to need it. Who knows how long that has been threaded onto there or how hard it's going to be to get off. So yeah, so thank you for joining me with this video. If you haven't, again, I know I've said it, please go check out the Mongoose video. It turned out really, really good. And once this one is done, what I'm going to do, if you are interested, is I'm going to sell these bikes as like a boy-girl combo to a family who wants to start riding with their kids or whatever it is. You know, it could be a family who can't afford brand new bikes, especially with the market that we have right now. There's no bikes available, or they're marked up like crazy. So I want to give a cheap alternative to doing that. So I'm trying to keep them cheap by also making them ride as good as I possibly can and make them look good as well. I would say this bike looks already 8 times better than it did, considering it was just filthy from the forks to the chain stays. So I'm really, really, really excited that this bike isn't in that bad of a condition and will really be attractive to a young girl or to a woman who is the size for this bike. So yeah, again, we're gonna get started on the other stuff in the next video. So please like, subscribe. Please stay tuned and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload these series. And yeah, so we'll catch you later, and get out there and have a good time, and we'll see you next time. See you guys.